Good evening. Thanks for joining me this Saturday on 7Edition. I'm Aanont Wathanasin, and these are tonight's headlines. 16, including children, injured after helium-filled balloons explode. Police have strong evidence in LTTE investigation, says Home Minister. And Japan orders millions to evacuate as monster typhoon makes landfall. There were anxious moments at Dataran Putrajaya this morning when helium gas-filled balloons used as props for a fitness event exploded, injuring 16 people, including children. The incident occurred at the tail end of the Education Ministry's 2019 National Sports Month event. The victims, comprising 9 children as young as 4 and 7 adults in their 30s, were rushed to the Putrajaya Hospital, where some are still being treated at the Emergency and Trauma Department. Fortunately, none of the victims were in critical condition. Following the incident, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail also took time to visit the victims at the hospital.
So ada yang satu budak yang trauma sikit lah. Yang lain itu nampak gaya dia quite able to withstand the trauma. Yang budak tu dia terdiam sikit lah. Jadi saya tanya dia pun tak apa jawab. Yang lain itu I think they are taking it okay. The doctors are taking well, good care of them. Dan kita melihat sebab kita dah fikirkan kalau apa yang susulan.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also Women, Family and Community Development Minister, said the Welfare Department was ready to provide counselling to the victims if needed. Putrajaya Police Chief ACP Rosli Hassan said the incident occurred when someone tried to cut the string tied to the balloons with a cigarette lighter, and the flame struck one of the balloons before the whole bunch exploded. A cigarette lighter found at the scene was believed to be the same one that caused the incident. So far, no one has come forward to lodge a report. Police have strong evidence to conduct investigations against Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, or LTTE, based on intelligence carried out over a long period of time. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said police investigation showed there is strong evidence of terrorism or the possibility of terrorism from the LTTE group in the country.
Seharusnya tidak ada pihak yang harus mengganggu. Biarlah pihak polis menjalankan tugas. Kita memberikan kepercayaan kepada mereka dan selama ini pun saya kira mereka telah menjalankan tugas berdasarkan apa yang diperuntukkan oleh undang-undang. Bukan dengan niat ataupun tujuan tertentu yang mungkin dirasakan oleh setengah-setengah pihak dalam masyarakat.
On October 10th, 2 DAP state assemblymen from Melaka Negeri Sembilan were among 7 individuals detained for alleged involvement in the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. All of them were detained during the Bukit Aman police operations in Melaka, Perak, Kedah and Negeri Sembilan. DAP, however, has come out in defence of its 2 assemblymen, saying their involvement in the party so far has shown no indication that the 2 were involved in any terror activities. In another development, the arrest of the 2 DAP state assemblymen for their alleged involvement with the LTTE was discussed by the leadership of Pakatan Harapan. PH Secretariat Chief Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said the case was discussed informally yesterday, however, no decision was decided on. He added that Wisma Putra, with the close cooperation of the relevant enforcement agencies, always followed developments of the LTTE, just like the other groups of terrorists.
Kita di Wisma Putra kita sangat berhati-hati melihat badan-badan teroris itu. Kita lihat satu persatu adakah benar dia teroris atau dia sudah bukan teroris atau dia sebenarnya dah tak wujud lagi dan yang tinggal cuma penyokong-penyokongnya saja dan simpatisan ya. Jadi itu cara Wisma Putra melihat ya perkara-perkara yang berkaitan dengan terorisme.
He also said that Malaysia's definition of terrorism, may differ from other countries or international bodies. Citing Fatah and Hamas, Datuk Saifuddin pointed out that Israel regarded both organizations as terrorists, but not Malaysia. Meanwhile, police have arrested 5 more men over alleged links to the LTTE. It's learned that the men were detained today in Malacca, Penang and Selangor under the Security Offences Special Measures Act, SOSMA. Bukit Aman is expected to hold a press conference tomorrow on the case. Elsewhere in Kuala Lumpur, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bado stressed that any form of threat linked to terrorist groups is being dealt with by police in accordance with its Standard Operating Procedures, SOP. He added that investigations were always carried out professionally based on reports and evidence gathered by authorities.
Yang ditahan itu akan diberikan hak dia. Saya dah memanggil pegawai saya yang bertanggungjawab, memastikan hak-hak dia mengikut yang telah diperuntukkan oleh undang-undang, lawatan keluarga, peguam dapat khidmat peguam dia mesti dipenuhi.
Speaking to reporters, Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said the arrests would not be carried out arbitrarily and would have nothing to do with political, racial and religious issues. In another matter, police said they will publish the identity of the witnesses in the death of fireman Muhammad Adib Muhammad Qasim if they do not step forward to assist investigations. Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said he supports any movement planned by the investigation team to speed up the probe.
Kita nak wrap up benda ni secepat mungkin supaya tidak lagi ada spekulasi ni spekulasi tu, ya. So lagi cepat siasatan ni dapat ditamatkan dan kita angkat balik dekat apa ni lagi baik. So kita nak cepat.
So, untuk nak
saya tak boleh bagi tempoh. Nanti CID akan keluarkan satu kenyataan yang untuk memanggil mereka. Kalau tidak kita akan menggunakan segala kuasa dalam undang-undang untuk memaksa mereka hadir.
Commenting on the 56 out of 66 witnesses who have yet to step forward to assist in the probe into Adib's death, the top cop also said the Attorney General has given the police time to go over the findings by the Coroner's Court before the next course of action. On September 27th, the coroner's inquest into the case found that the fireman's death was caused by 2 or more individuals who have yet to be identified. A Singaporean man has been remanded for 7 days over the gruesome murder of a mother and her son in Malacca. This was following the discovery of 8 human body parts which were discarded into the bushes in the Krubong industrial area 2 days ago. The suspect was brought to the Malacca court complex this morning, where he was issued the remand order to facilitate police investigations into the case. He was arrested yesterday with the assistance of Singapore police and brought back to Malacca. The grass cutter discovered the body parts belonging to the 2 victims on Thursday. It was believed the 27-year-old woman and her 11-year-old son were murdered at their home in Taman Merdeka Jaya based on bloodstains found in one of the rooms at the house. Meanwhile, police found 2 severed heads believed to have been from the mother and son who had been murdered and chopped up by their killer. Authorities, however, have not revealed the location of the discovery. Police are still waiting for the victim's family and for the post-mortem report to confirm the identity of the body parts. It was understood that police are still searching the victim's house for clues and evidence, as it's believed other body parts are still there together with the murder weapon. Last night, the family of the victims claimed that the deceased were Nur Fazira Bidin and her son Muhammad Iman Ashraf Abdullah. Both of the victims were also believed to be related to the suspect remanded by police. Coming up, we check out some feedback, including from experts on Budget 2020. Details next. Welcome back, and now on to some budget updates, on the Budget 2020 that was tabled yesterday. The Malaysians at Work initiative under next year's federal budget will help create 350,000 jobs. Speaking to reporters at the post-budget press conference in Parliament today, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the Employee Provident Fund (EPF) will be in charge of the initiative.
It is a waste of government resources. After spending so many years in universities, they are still unable to secure a job. So we want to provide them with that opportunity. And to do that, we have come up with this scheme where we incentivize not just the unemployed graduates or unemployed workers, but also employers to employ these workers, these Malaysian workers, graduates or non-graduates.
During the Budget 2020 presentation yesterday, Lim announced there will be wage incentives to encourage the hiring of unemployed graduates and local workers. Under the Malaysians at Work initiative, graduates who secure a job after having been unemployed for more than a year will receive 500 per month from the government for a duration of 2 years. Employers will also receive a hiring incentive of up to 300 ringgit per month for each new hire over 2 years. Now, experts and representatives from various associations have given their feedback on the second federal budget under the Pakatan Harapan government. Among the remarks gathered following yesterday's tabling by the Finance Minister in Parliament is that the Budget 2020 was balanced and well thought of. They also applauded the government for its efforts in stimulating Malaysia's economy to ensure its continuous growth. According to experts, many incentives have been given to the manufacturing and labour sectors, as well as taking advantage of the development of digital economy.
One of the issues that currently we have is in labour market. I'm glad that government is putting effort to actually address the issue, for example, graduate unemployment, women returning to work by providing this new incentive of giving wage incentive and hiring incentive for the private sector.
Attempts have also been made to help the poor, especially the B40, by allowing more subsidies and allowances to help assist them financially. However, the execution of tasks and programs stipulated within the budget must always be under the purview of the government.
What I haven't seen that very much is a profound review. How much you can present a budget, you formulate and present a budget. You should always be ready for uncertainties that would require recalibration. Therein, I feel the execution is not very spelled out. Are we going to have a review, a clear review, monitoring?
SMEs and entrepreneurs will also expect much more support from the government next year, with favourable tax incentives to help boost their economic status.
For SMEs, the threshold of income tax rate at 17% has been raised up from 500,000 to 600,000. This is very good to help SMEs in whatever fields that they are undertaking. And also, SMEs are also available for more incentives with criteria which is more relaxed as compared to the big organizations. Yeah?
Overall, Budget 2020 aims to drive Malaysia's economy forward with equitable outcomes towards a shared prosperity so that all can benefit from the country's improving economic status. On the government's decision to lower the threshold on high-rise property prices in urban areas from 1 million ringgit to 600,000 ringgit for foreign ownership, Chief Executive Officer of FAR Capital, Faisal Rizwan, is concerned that developers will use this as an excuse to build more properties exclusively for the foreign market. The property consultant, however, said he does not expect the threshold to be lowered forever.
These are unsold inventory that no one wants to buy anywhere locally. So why not we let the international investors come and have a look at our property? So I also do not think that this move will be a permanent move. We think at best it's going to be a 2 or 3 year horizon before the limit goes back up to about 1 million ringgit. So it's not going to be a long-term move.
Meanwhile, he applauded the government's rent-to-own financing scheme. Applicants will rent the property for up to 5 years and have an option to purchase the house based on the price fixed at the time the tenancy agreement is signed. However, he cautioned those who are looking to buy their first home through the scheme to be wary of overvalued homes.
We would strongly reckon and advise, that we really monitor the kind of inventory we're going to be putting into the system so that we do not have a situation whereby people end up putting a overvalued, over-expensive property, right, within the scheme. And then unknowing buyers end up buying these properties only to find out this property is going to be worth less, 5 years down the road.
Overall, Faisal thinks Budget 2020 is a highly positive budget for the property sector, and next year will be a decent year for the market. The Congress of Unions of Employees in the Public and Civil Services in Malaysia, QPEX, welcomes the increase of 50 ringgit in the cost of living allowance, COLA, for support groups in the civil service that was announced in Budget 2020. Its president, Dato' Aziz Muda, said the rising cost of living was felt by civil servants in both urban and rural areas. Currently, the COLA allowance is set at 300, 250 and 150 ringgit depending on location. The new allowance will start at the beginning of next year. Dato' Aziz also welcomed the additional 200 ringgit monthly special allowance, which would benefit 14,400 firemen. The government also introduced an ex gratia death benefit of up to 150,000 ringgit payable to the dependents of the deceased, and to bring forward the annual salary movement for civil servants who have died in service before the salary movement date. Dato' Aziz said this was a beginning that they look forward to, as it will help ease the burden of the dependents of civil servants who died while in service. Still on the national budget, the 100 million ringgit allocated to construct a new cable car in Penang Hill will boost tourism in the state and help drive the local economy. Penang Hill Corporation said it will conduct a feasibility study for the project, which is expected to cost 130 million ringgit, with the state government picking up the tab if it costs more. Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow said regardless of the allocation, a feasibility study is more important.
The cable car service is feasible to be implemented, and if it is feasible, then only the next step will proceed. So even with the allocation, we still have to go through the feasibility study.
Meanwhile, tourists met at the Penang Hill were excited over the proposal. Many believe that the new cable car will allow tourists to experience a different scenery of Penang Hill from a higher viewpoint compared to the current train service used to bring passengers to the top.
A cable car for this Penang Hill, it will attract more tourists from Southeast Asia nearby. So it will make Penang a more popular place for more tourists to come.
In my opinion, the cable car is good for your attraction because it can help we can see the beautiful point or beautiful mountain or beautiful in the city.
Because I have been here 42 years ago, and now for the future many things have to change. So you have to look for for better system also here for this cable car.
Last year, Penang Hill received a total of 1.74 million visitors. In other news, the Selangor International Business Summit SIBS 2019, organised by Invest Selangor in collaboration with the state government, returns for the third edition this year. The four-day conference held at the Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre, MITEC, Kuala Lumpur, is expected to receive over 30,000 domestic and international visitors. The summit brings together some of the most innovative companies and brands, including knowledgeable and influential speakers participating in the exhibition and conference. Officiated by the Selangor Menteri Besar, Amiruddin Shari, he believes the summit will give many opportunities for investors to meet with like-minded multinational companies and SMEs.
Harapan saya agar expo ini akan terus berkembang dan ada penemuan-penemuan yang boleh dipasarkan di peringkat antarabangsa dan ia adalah sebahagian daripada kontribusi kita ataupun wadah yang kita siapkan, wahana yang kita siapkan, platform kepada mereka-mereka ini yang mungkin tidak tahu kaedah ataupun tidak dapat mengenal pasti di sini tempatnya, ada bertemu dengan universiti dan institut lain. Dan yang paling pentingnya ada syarikat, ada market di sini.
He added that educational institutions played an important role in driving the nation's economy through research and development. SIBS 2019 will include over 800 booths and is considered to be the biggest event since its inception, with over 60,000 visitors having attended in total. Among the highlights of the event include the Selangor Research and Development and Innovation Expo, where inventors, designers, entrepreneurs and researchers can showcase their latest inventions. The expo paves the way to encourage direct peer engagement, opening doors to more advanced deal-making, co-investments, strategic partnerships and business networking opportunities. Up next, a job applicant gets caught red-handed trying to fool his interviewer. We'll be right back with the details. Here we have updates on Typhoon Hagibis. More than 3.2 million people in Japan have been placed under non-compulsory evacuation orders as authorities warn of imminent flood and landslide danger after hours of torrential rains. So far, at least one person has been killed and several injured as the monster storm barrels across the country. According to Japan's meteorological agency, the JMA, the monster typhoon was packing maximum gusts of 216 kilometers per hour. More than 13,500 people have moved to shelters, including some whose homes were damaged by Typhoon Fasya that hit the region last month. According to Japanese provider TEPCO, more than 10,000 households in Kanto, Chiba and Tokyo areas were left without power. JMA said Hagibis is forecast to be the first storm rated very strong to hit the main island of Honshu since 1991, when the category system was first introduced. President Donald Trump on Friday hailed a breakthrough in his drawn-out trade war with China, saying the two sides reached an initial deal covering intellectual property, financial services and currencies. With the agreement, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said the White House will hold off on a massive tariff increase planned for next week. And as negotiations progress, new tariffs planned for December also could be called off. An interim bargain could allow both economic parties to claim success while averting damaging escalation in the trade war and leaving the thorniest issues for later.
I think the relationship in certain ways may be better than it's ever been. We've been through a very tough negotiation. There's never been a negotiation like this. In all fairness, I give China tremendous credit because for 25 or 30 years they've done very well with the U.S. and now we're doing something jointly. We're doing it.
After more than a year of trench warfare, however, it remained unclear whether the countries could sustain the momentum needed to conclude subsequent phases of the deal. Trump said China pledged to rapidly ramp up purchases of American farm products to between $40 to $50 billion, more than doubling from the prior level of less than $20 billion in 2017. With Chinese Vice Premier Liu He sitting across the desk from him in the Oval Office, Trump told reporters that the two sides were very close to ending their trade dispute. Okay, so let's hop on now to Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. So here's not the way that you're supposed to do a Skype interview when you're applying for a job. Now, years ago, a job applicant was caught lip-syncing while someone else answers questions in a Skype interview in India. In the bizarre clip, which was published online in 2017 but only recently went viral, it shows the applicant's mouth occasionally moving, but not in time with the words. In fact, at times, not even moving at all. Take a look at it yourself.
So, have you worked on any triggers in your experience?
Yes. I'm using triggers, but if using a trigger, so I'm just analyzing how to use the trigger.
Man, hold on.
If these two are not achievable, I'm going with the trigger, and we used many events in trigger like before, after.
Hold on. I think it's not you who is speaking. I mean, someone is speaking, someone else is speaking here, and you're just lip syncing. I can also hear your voice, the candidate who is sitting right in front of me. I caught you. I mean, it's not the right way, man. I clearly caught you. You know, the other guy is talking, and you're also speaking in a very low voice, syncing up your lips. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Thank you.